We're Blair Witching it.
Are we? Does the light help?
Yeah.
Because it really distracts me. What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw, and this is going to be a pretty unprofessional video. We're out here testing a few products tonight. I got my Glock 34 out that I use for home defense, and I want to test that out with the new HD XR night sights. I have an APL-C that I'm going to be using in this video with the Glock 34, sorry. And I wanted to cover something I get some questions about, and I just wanted to do it in a quick video. I want to talk about are cell phones good enough for defensive use? So a lot of people EDC a gun and they don't EDC a handheld flashlight. So you have a couple of options there. You could use the flashlight on your phone, you could use a weapon mounted light, or you could use a handheld light, or you could use a handheld in conjunction with a weapon-mounted light, which is the best, but it's also the most stuff you have to carry around. So I just wanted to do a quick video in the darkness today, so the lighting's not going to be very good. You're going to be able to see the shooting when the lights come on, but you may or may not be able to see me very well because the camera that we normally have with night vision isn't really working correctly. So we're just going to go with this and see how it goes. So I plan on testing the speed of the cell phone versus the weapon light and the handheld light, and then I plan on testing the distance as well, going back to 25, maybe even 50 yards. I know that sounds a little extreme for real life scenarios, but it's just to show the limits of whichever light you're going to use, whether it be the Surefire G2X, I think, is the handheld light I'm going to be using. That's the one my wife is shining in my face right now. And I'm going to be using the APL-C on my Glock 34, and then I'm also going to be trying to either FBI can it or something. I'm going to make it up as I go. Because the other thing I wanted to show is maybe how bumbling stupid you'll be if you don't train, because I've never actually tested on how to use a cell phone as a defensive light, and I thought it would be really funny if we did it for the first time. So we'll have to see how that goes, and let's go to the range. So first thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be using the weapon light, since that is going to be the easiest and that'll set the standard. I'm going to be shooting these 3 IPSC targets behind us and try to pretend like they are going to be attacking me. But in all reality, they're going to be about 10 yards away or so, which is the closest I really want to get in steel. Even though I'm wearing eye protection stuff, that's about as close as I want to go right now. So we'll run the drill 3 times in a row. I'll use the different weapon lights. If I forget to mention them in the video, I'll annotate it below. All right, this is the Enforce APL-C. As you can see, you could clearly identify the targets. That's another thing that you might want to remember when choosing a light. It's not only being able to see a silhouette, but not only do you have to identify the silhouette, you have to identify the person. Then you oftentimes have to identify what's in his hands, may it be a cell phone, cheeseburger, or a handgun. As you can see with the APL-C, it's super easy to identify and engage the targets at 10 yards. All right, so now what we're using here is we're using the Surefire G2X, I think that's what it's called. As again, super easy to identify the targets, super easy to see if they're armed, and if you got to engage, it's really easy.
Cool.
All right, so now what we got here is we have a Samsung Galaxy S5, and we're going to be using the flashlight app. And as you can see, it's a lot dimmer, even at 10 yards. Now, if that was a person, could I distinguish what was in his hands? I'm not super sure. Another thing you have to remember is the defensive capabilities of a light. You have to try to remember that you can actually defeat people with a flood of light. As you see right there, you can blind that person and you can make them surrender just by blinding them so much they have no interest in trying to attack you. Not only that, but if you strobe them a little bit, you can confuse them and they may not know your exact position. With a cell phone light, essentially you're given just enough light to see the person, but you're also giving them just enough light to where they can easily see back at you, so it's a light traced right back at you. So let's try it with the cell phone light. So now, as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see those targets.
They can't see.
Can't see it at all. This is at 25 yards. This is about as far. Can you see him now?
Yep.
Now this is the Enforce APL-C. This is a very small weapon light, but as you can see, it is still way more powerful than my Samsung Galaxy S5. So I can still kind of see those targets, but there's absolutely no way I could identify if they were a good guy or a bad guy. Although I think, one-handed here, I can still make hits on them. 50%, but I would not recommend it. Now with my Enforce APL-C, hits all day. All right, so long story short, could you use your cell phone for defensive light? I think you could. maybe in a house, maybe if you had to in a parking garage, a low little area. We were in like a no light area whatsoever. We're in the middle of nowhere here. That's where my range is, and that's one of the reasons why I can shoot in the middle of the night. But there's almost zero ambient light, so everything is coming from whatever device you're using. Another thing to mention is even though you could, your limit really is about 10 yards. And past that, that guy could have something in his hands. You could never see him coming. 10 yards is so close. If you didn't have your gun drawn, you would be in a lot of trouble anyway. 10 yards, they could close the distance, take your gun, shoot you with it. That's another reason why martial arts skills are very important. Another thing to consider that you're losing out on is the flooding, blinding light of a defensive light. That's so important, I think, in a defensive scenario. One of the reasons why light can be a big advantage. Now, the cell phone does have an advantage over a weapon light, let's say, if you're only carrying a weapon light, because you definitely don't want to pull out your weapon and point it around like you're searching around for things, especially in a public area. So maybe in that regard, a cell phone would be a good choice for a self-defense thing if you don't want to carry the extra weight of a light. But there are lots of lights. I'm going to be doing reviews on little mini lights here pretty soon that would be much more capable than your cell phone and much more durable as well. If something happened, you could easily break your cell phone. Lights like the Surefire G2X, I think that's what it's called again, are very, very durable, way more durable than a cell phone. So that's just a quick video that I wanted to do on it because I got a couple questions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please stop at your local homeless shelters and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.